ready for a little physical graffiti.
Good evening! Good evening! Last weekend we did a couple of warm-up gigs for these three. This Friday, Saturday and Sunday. We believe that these, though we were busy in Halifax at the time, we believe these were the first three gigs to be sold out, yeah? So these must be the ones with the most energy stored up, right? You've been waiting. So we intend to tell you a little story about what's been going on since we were babies. So, as Reg Pitter would put it, in the 6 or 7 years that we've managed to tread the same path together, we've written an assortment of material. We tried to give as much variety out of our craniums as we could so as to stimulate ourselves. If you keep repeating the same thing time and time again, it's just like using your right hand to and it becomes a bit boring. So what we try to do over these years to keep ourselves alive and bright musically is to vary, as I said, as much as we can. Tonight we intend perhaps for you to come with us through some of the variations that we've come across. C'est toi de Rogers, la belle chanteur d'anglais. This is an Earth. What's that noise? We can play with noises. This is a thing that's probably older than the Hills. That came from a Negro work chant. Now keep your fingers crossed for mine. It seems to be quite a vibey weekend coming up, actually, one way or another. From what I sussed on the motorway on the way down from the north. Yes, indeed. A lot of strange things have happened to us in that time that give us the insight or outsight to have different influences on the music. Wherever you go, in the end, you find that the people that you meet are either good guys or bad guys. You attach yourself to the good ones, that's why we're all still together. And some of the bad ones you let go, but in the end, the moral is the song remains the same. John Jones is responsible for the orchestral parts there. John Paul Jones Orchestra. The fiddler from Elephant and Castle. Right. My left arm is swollen beyond all proportion because I've just had it chipped for cholera and smallpox and everything else that we might catch while we go hunting in the jungle for new words and new songs for a new album. I'm one of the last, so you might wonder how I can even lift it as far with such abounding pain. So on the last time we had a chip in the arm and a wander in the jungle, nobody really went anywhere at all. So apart from these journeys that, or these visions that you keep having and having some purpose, apart from plodding along to Molyneux every Saturday afternoon. Is any kidding? There are also songs that you write. Excuse me. There are also songs that you write about love and about the effect of love upon you, apart from squeezing lemons and other such vicious martial arts. There are in fact beautiful songs of love. There are in fact beautiful love affairs in our lives. Frankie Marco! That is a beautiful cup of tea. Now, apart from having the arms scratched to go with pith helmets into the darkest jungle, other travels took us along the A5, past Wellington, not California, oh no. Not California yet. In fact, you might have it right. Is my manager shouting at me? This gentleman here who's altering the mic stand was arrested for swearing at passers-by in a tube station 6 months ago. Mick Hinton! He was then arrested 3 months later for driving over a traffic island. Really gets so bad, Mick does. Costs Bonzo a fortune. He's now limping because Bonzo just gave him a dead leg. So we went to Wales. We didn't take the A5. Wales is a good country. In fact, Wales is a country. Lots of nice songs came from there. In a very mellow acoustic vein. Strangely enough, the song's about California. This is dedicated to whom it may ultimately concern. Spend my days with a woman and kind, smoke my stuff and drink all my wine. Made up my mind, making you start, going to California with an aching in my heart. Someone told me there's a girl out there with love in her eyes and flowers in her hair. Chances on a beach-head plane. Never let me tell you that we're all the same. The sea was red and the sky was gray. I wondered how tomorrow could ever follow today. Mountains of the canyons that tremble and shake. The children of the sun begin to wake. See that the wall of the pond's gonna punch in the nose and it's starting to flow. It's like it might be sinking. Oh, throw me a line if I reach it in time. See what there with the bear flying straight and high. So high. Without a king, the say she plays guitar and cries and sings la la la, Ride a white mare in the footsteps of dawn, trying to find a woman who's never been born. Standing on a hill in the mountain of dreams, telling myself it's not as hard as it seems. People, let me tell you, it's hard. Should it ever be any other way? It's terribly hard. So, maybe we don't need the pith helmets. Well, hello, good evening, and welcome to the program. Tonight we bring you John Paul Jones bought a strange bass. If there's any bass players here tonight, Paul. This remarkable bass. When he used to be with Jet Harris and Tony Meehan, they were all the fashion. This is a song which translated from the original English Celtic Bron-Y-Aur, which is true British for the golden breast. That's very true. This has references to a blue-eyed friend that we all have. evening is I'm beginning to feel silly. The lemon tea is now mingling very nicely with the electrical points down by John Paul's keyboards. It's looking very good there, John. Actually, I can see it just about to blow you right out of this world, baby. I thought I'd tell you because you always have been a good bloke. Even when you played with Jet Harris and Tony Meehan, you were a good bloke. I think the man who was arrested at Islington Road Tube Station, can you come and adjust this? In fact, lady in the front row, could you please come and adjust this? Seriously, you couldn't have been arrested. You're American. Oh, I know, one of them dual personalities. I knew it. Right. Now a very serious part of the program. Quite an emotional part. A man I've known most of my life. A friend. Exhausted. Well done, John. You still got the job. It's a song that long time ago when we were all on wages. Never. We all got together in a tiny room, you know the story very well. We all fell in love at first sight. In this town, the television shuts off at 2. What more can a lonely rock and roller do? It's not to send them back to town, thinking that. So despite Charles Sharp-Murray, we kept going. I believe there's a psychiatrist on his way, Charles. Just hang on, keep those teeth gritted. But here's one for you in your better moments, Charles. Good old Charles. Suffering from a touch of cholera. It seems to have worn off a little bit now. So, that's all these Eastern influences, you know? With the purple umbrella and a 50-cent hat and none of that. Malakum salam. As we Welsh would have it. So through the years of trial and error, trying to keep ourselves satisfied with the material that we write, so as to vary it enough to keep the energy flowing. We diverse from one stratosphere perhaps to another, and as I said, we intend to take you down some of the changes. We'd never dare to take your head through some of the changes. 6.5 years in 3 hours is a bit too much for anybody. Isn't it, girls? Schlanterbar, thank you. Could have been by the right Johnny Bonham. A tour of the East, where we didn't really play too many gigs. We just kept touring the darker streets of the towns to pick up the ethnic vibe as cheaply as possible. And during these travels we found that, if you'd let me continue, we found that the people that we met, even in the Caribbean, Royston and friends, the mellowness is always there if you look for it. In fact, if you give it, you get it back. The song remains the same. One day when we were rehearsing for some album that we didn't really know much about, Bonzo came in with a really nice driving tempo, a really laid back sort of and we thought, Mandrakes? No. And having been travelling a little bit too to get the feel of foreign lands as we keep rabbiting about, or I keep rabbiting about, and the touch of the east and a little bit of cholera on the arm. If you go along the A449 past Droitwich, take the third turn off on the right. Kashmir is just up there. It's got a white fence around it. On the other hand, we'd like to say, instead of just keep playing and playing and playing, that it really is a treat to be playing in England again. It makes us... We're playing in Britain again. It makes us sound like foreigners, but somebody voted for somebody and everybody's on the run. There's very little people left in the business that we know to talk to anymore. We have to talk to passers-by on the street and cyclists and members of the public. This is for anybody who's got any hope that everything can be okay in our wonderful country again. Everything can be grown from the seeds of goodness, right? And without becoming a prophet, we ain't doing too good at the moment. Well, we were unable to play in Birmingham and we couldn't play in Cardiff. Because last time... Cardiff, does that ring a bell? Plaid Cymru. Last time we played in Cardiff at the Locarno, the equipment was set up and they wouldn't let us through the doors because we didn't have a tie on. It was really... Those were the days. And has it changed that much? Has Cardiff changed that much? But things do change, and through the changes we meet a lot of friends. Some of them fall by the wayside, some of them fall on the faces, and some of them are around to give us some strength when we're a little bit down. It may come as a surprise to you that it may come as a surprise, madam. That is the only time that we've ever managed to harmonise, not only on stage, but even on record. That is the first time that four of us have sang together. Mind you, we have been doing a summer season here at Earls Court, so we're getting quite used to it now. This is when we take our memory trip, or what's left of it, back up the A5, as I said last night. The A5 is a heavy trunk road. And when you get there, it's all... I could do this myself, but it never usually works. Jimmy McCalliard's left the stage. Do you remember the days we used to sit down and smile? Probably in big circles around the oak tree. A lot of people went back to Wales to find the oak trees. And a bit of that.
Oh man, take a look at my life. It's a lot like yours.
The chairs are supplied by Habitat. This is all a preview for the talking shows that we're going to do in the fall, when we really made it. Never, you ain't kidding. Oh, to talk. The blues, as in cliches, two-pays and three-pays. Sounds like Dallas, Texas to me, where the PA comes from. I got the blues on me. See, Bonzo can sing the blues. Do we have a bit of blues from Bonzo? Bonzo? Should we have some blues? Bonzo? With a bit of audience participation, this could take us exactly where we came from. 8 miles high.
Oh, you're right, Wally.
With the sort of response that we get for things like that, I think we should. That was the Welsh period. That was pre-Moroccan, I think we better just team up with the Ian Campbell folk group and call it a night. Talking about nights, it brings a tear. Oops. We've seen a lot of ups and downs, and we've been part of lots of ups and downs. And part of these ups and downs is the ability to create rhythm. And if you liken a motor car to the parts of a human body, then sometimes you can get trampled underfoot. Kisses sit down by groovy love to drill. I like the way you hold the road. Mama, it ain't no sin. Talk about love. Talk about love. Talk about. I'm so glad I took a look inside your showroom doors. Talk about love. Talk about love. Talk about. It seems that heavy metal underneath your hood. Baby, I could work all night, or even get the perfect tune. Talk about love. Talk about love. Talk about. On the freeway, gauge is on red. I come down on my gasoline, believe I wanna crack your head. Talk about love. Talk about love. Talk about. Pulling up a coffee, really filled with style. Specialist edition. Mama, let me be mine. Talk about love. Talk about love. Talk about. Things like heavy man underneath the hood. Maybe I can work all night and even got the perfect tools. Talk about love. Talk about love, love, love. Talk about. I can't stop talking. I can't stop Good evening. Well, it's Saturday night. Well, it's Saturday night, and I just got paid. I'm trying to say, what's this gonna go out time? I'm not upstaging anybody, am I? It is our, I cut the waffle. Tonight, there's a lad watching his dad, who is a remarkable drummer, even though he's 7 years old, 8 years old. He is a better drummer than 80% of rock group drummers today, and he's 8 years old. So, Jason Bonham, this is your dad. John Bonham, Moby Dick! Master of the Skins. The only man who can play the drums and sing at the last waltz. John Banter! My God, how can such a heavy group be so silly? This is the song that came at the very beginning of our time. Monzo refused to join us because he was getting 40 quid a week with Tim Rose. I had 8 telegrams sent to the 3 men in the boat in Warsaw when Noddy Alderhead Slade was our roadie, and nobody believed that the new Yardbirds, nothing's changed. Nobody would believe it, and John Paul Jones had just finished a tour with Greta Garbo, and Jimmy Page was coming out of the closet. So we're really having a good time back in good old England. We've got to fly soon. You know how it goes with Dennis. Dear Dennis, private enterprise, no artists in the country anymore. He must be dazed and confused. Just a little world to get lost in occasionally. Only takes about 20 minutes for us to plot around the time signatures. Mr. Bonham is making gestures.
I'd like to say at this point that I think football's a load of bollocks.
I'd like to say that soccer is a wonderful sport, the best sport. And that's got nothing to do with Bonzo's sentiments. I prefer grapes anyway. And welcome to the last concert in England for a considerable time. Quel dommage, but quel dommage. But on the other hand, who knows? There's always the 1980s. Paramaputra. I can hear Jack Taylor from Wolverhampton there with his whistle. Did a great job at the World Cup, Jack. Always try Jack's pork pies, they're very good. He's got a butcher's shop in Wolverhampton. Okay, Jack, but you can put it away now, Jack. We've heard it. Okay? It's passé. Finito. Right, so. Yes, through 6.5 years the music has changed, as no doubt you're aware by the way the Melody Maker goes hot and cold on Led Zeppelin and then the Musical Express, and then even Disc mention us now and again. We made the front page of Rivali, and who knows, we might even get in the Sports Argus with some of the stuff that we end up writing these days. This is an old work chant. Please, Lord, I believe it's Sunday, so I'm saying it again. Please, Lord, you know you suit me, babe. You know you suit me all night long. Please keep shaking it for me, baby. Till my back ain't got no. Till my back ain't got no. Till my back ain't got no. Please, Lord, won't you make it my dying? Won't you make it my dying? Won't you make it my dying, 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 dying? Who said the blues didn't come from West Bromwich? It's a great, it's really great to go through 48 hours and still know what you're doing. Hang on a tick. So saying, he looks at his microphone lead and realizes that his next dynamic dash is going to end up all over the place. Right. Hey, Jimmy, hey, Wally. Do you think we should let him carry on doing that? No, it's becoming very boring now. If your brain hurts, please see the man who's walking around selling hot brains. Thank you. He's going to be here all night, you know, every chance he gets. Along the road that we all walk down, there are the ups, there are the downs. You can get them at a local chemist, or you can forget them altogether. That was a short interlude, followed by... I'm sorry, we just really had a good time playing here, you know? And sometimes, if you play city after city after city, night after night after night, you don't feel as loose and as easy as we feel. Ladies, we feel loose and easy. I remember the time when that meant something, but never mind, the Osmonds will be here next week. An American gentleman brings a microphone onto the stage, which means that... Exactly. Our American show, as it was called, isn't quite an American show anymore, because we've introduced some of the beg your pardon. I told you to stop that stuff. Yes, you what, love? Our American show is no longer an American show because we introduce some material that was written west of Offa's Dyke. You history people aren't really together tonight at all. This is some of the stuff that came from Wales way back, and this is the... It's not the pre-Cambrian age, it's probably the age of the Austin Champ. Remember that, James? Yeah, first loves. Can you remember your first love, Bonzo?
No.
There's a pint of mild. There are those who would vouch. And there is... Are we tuned? So we carried on past Rayada and towards Nanteos, the Valley of the Holy Grail. Only to find that Eric Idle had got there first. But I suppose... Albatross. Yes, we could have a silly night. We could have one of those. They might even be here. Anyway, what is a shrubbery amongst friends? Like champion Jack Dupree doing all this. He's a lousy blues singer, but he knew how to use a mic stand. If I had possession of a judgment day. If I had possession of a judgment day, I would need no meal cedar, best time away. Oh. Thank you, Robert Johnson, for everything that you did. Just dedicated to an inbred, blue-eyed, tail-wagging, very closed-mouthed best friend I ever had. Are you loose?
Yes, thank you.
I know you're loose, Bonzo. Good Lord, he had diarrhea all the way through the last American tour. Loose is not the word. He's got the only drum stool in the world that is a commode. So, as we become looser and head further north towards Harlech, where I once sat on a throne... Oh, Christ, sorry, Roy. Yes, we start speaking Welsh soon. Canachubant, which in Welsh means F off. How about that then, eh? That's all I know so far, folks. Wales, Wales, da, 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 da. Sir, I've got a fetish for Richard Burton. We sneaked a little bit of it. If I had possession over Judgment Day, which, as most avid Robert Johnson people know, is one of his fine pieces from the first album that was available in England off the Paramount recordings in 1934-35. He was consequently murdered by a jealous girlfriend, which no doubt might even happen to one of us. You never know. Know what I mean? Know what I mean? Nudge, nudge, elbow, elbow. Nudge, 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 elbow, elbow. Whoop. So Robert had a way of putting things, did our Robert. And he used to, he was in fact the squeeze my lemon of it, the beginning of all the squeezing of lemons. In fact, he died at the age of 19. He probably had his lemon squeezed quite a few times, you know, in those 19 years. And he developed a way of avoiding the issue of vulgarity and bringing it out with reference to fruits. Why not? If you've got a banana, you've got a banana, you know? So, with that in mind, we say goodnight. The man whose middle name became Elson, the man who always knits and pearls and drops one and picks one up, and in fact is one of the most colourful drummers that we've ever had in a group. A man who touches the deepest parts of your heart just when you could do with being left alone. We give you our blood brother. Well, we're beginning to, I'm feeling glad all over, yes I'm glad all over. So we got together in a tiny room with salami sandwiches and Peter Grant leaning against the door so that we couldn't get out. He's not even there in the wings to have the light shine on him. We owe a lot to Peter and his sort of power and ability to hold us under his wing whenever we started straying off the old straight track. And Peter, wherever you are, in the wings, well, Carmen, here it is. A song to a little girl who sits there, probably wondering what it's all about. In fact, all our kids who come to see us play and sit and go, really? Oh, really? So what is it all about? So where is the bridge? Well, Carmen, here's your chance of finding out where the bridge is. And if you know, please let me know after the show. It's been 5 glorious days. Thank you very much for being a great audience. And if you see Dennis Healy, tell him we've gone. Thanks a lot, seriously, it's been great. Never mind the A5 and the Austin Champ. Good night. This is something we never do. This is something we never do. It's all about the banana and the lemon, I think. Any requests? Dream lover until then, I'll go sleep and dream again. One wonders We'd like to do one more. We're just having a little chat, if you excuse us a minute. In the meantime, you'll see this gentleman with white shirts will be passing a hat around because the equipment and Dennis cost us so much that we got no bread to fly out of the country. So if you see a hat coming round, please put bread in it. Somebody's gonna make some money somewhere. Hang on a minute. I'm just trying to think if we ever had any hits. We're not blowing our image by having a chat, are we? There's a gentleman down here who suggested that we should, I think we should do it, yeah. Okay? This is a problem that we don't get. But maybe some people do. Charles Shaw Murray, wherever you are, keep taking the pills.
But I want to feel a bit. This I want to talk to you a minute, sir. You know what we've been talking about? I want to hear a bit of reggae, man. I want to hear a bit of reggae music. I want to hear a bit of Kingston, sir. Yes, sir. Alright, alright. It's alright, it's alright. It's alright, sir. I want to talk about Johnny Too Bad. I want to get the feel of what I'm going to talk about, sir. I think I can smell the ganja. I think I'm getting the feeling now, sir. Come on. I can smell the Caribbean. If it's okay for me, Claire, then it must be okay for us, sir. Like, we're going to do a bit of Jamaica, you know. Well, it's about 3 hours, 45 minutes since we got on here. And it's time we went back and listened to Bob Marley and the Wailers. Thank you very much for showing us that England is still alive and well. And it's good night from me, and it's good night from him. Good night. And watch out for the Holy Grail.